Hello and welcome to this video. It's a Revit video, and in this video we're going to be adding floors and roofs. We're going to be looking at ceilings and some internal walls. So let's get started. We've got our building inside of Revit. It's very simple. I've got a bunch of walls. That's all I've got. This building is 7 stories and we're going to add a roof. To add a roof, we need to go to the top level of your Revit project. So I'm going to double click on the plans. In my project, it's level 7. That's the top. And that's where I'm going to put my roof. Alright, so we created a grid previously and I want to add a roof, but it'd be really useful to be able to see where the walls are in this plan. Okay, and at the moment they're currently not visible. So to fix this problem, we need to go to underlay in the properties. So underlay this section just here, and if we click in the list and go to level 7, then we still don't see it. But if we go to level 6, it allows us to see down to the next level, and that's where the walls are. So we can see a grayed out version of our walls, and that's going to allow us to draw our roof. The roof tool is under the architecture tab, so click on the roof tool and we're going to draw our roof. We could use the pick walls tool to draw a roof. Remember, when you're drawing a roof, you need to make sure that you select all of the walls with the wall tool, and generally we draw in a clockwise fashion, and that's just best practice inside of Revit. Now we've created a footprint for our roof, and we can see all these triangles all the way around our roof footprint, and this means that this roof has a pitch. Alright, so there's, press the tick. There's our roof, and it's being cut through so we can't see all of it, but if we look in 3D view we can see that's what our roof looks like. Now in this project, this building actually has a flat roof, so we need to remedy this. So let's go back to level 7 and we can select our roof, and we should be able to change the slope here. So I'm going to change that to 0. And now we have our flat roof. So let's have another look in 3D view, and there is our flat roof. This roof also has a parapet, which is the walls go up higher than the roof. So I'm going to select all of the walls visible in view, and I'm going to give them a top offset just here. I'm going to type 1000 millimeters, that's a meter, and we can see now we have a parapet on our building. Okay, so there's the roof. How's about a floor? Let's go into the ground floor level and let's add a floor. So we can do the same thing. Under the architecture tab, a little bit further along the roof, we have floor. We use the same tools. I'm going to use pick wall. I'm going to start from here and go round, clicking in a clockwise fashion. Now roofs and floors, it's not so important about the clockwise, it's just more important going clockwise when we are drawing walls, because walls often have a render for the exterior and a different render on the inside, and it's easy to flip them around. If you've drawn them in the wrong direction, you can just press these 2 directional arrows and flip it around, and everything is sorted out. But it is expecting you to work in a more clockwise fashion. So let's press the tick, and here is our floor. That looks fantastic. Alright, so let's go back into 3D view and check our floor. Now we can't currently see the floor, but we could use something to help us see the floor. We could turn on our section box. Over here in the properties panel, when you have nothing selected and you're in 3D view, you can see section box. You can put a tick in here, and here is our section box. We can click on this frame and we can drag inwards on that frame, and we can start to cut through our building. And if I hold shift and the middle mouse, I can rotate around, and you can see there's my floor. That's looking really good. Alright, so the floor's in position, And it is correct that the floor is the top surface of the floor will be at 0, which means the construction of the floor will be below that. So everything's right. You might want to extend your wall down, depending. You definitely will with this building, because the topography means that we see some of the basement levels as we come towards this end of the building. Okay, and you can extend the wall, that's not a problem. Anyway, so we have a floor, we have a roof. We're going to need floors on different levels. We can select the floor, and we can use this tool up here, which is copy to clipboard. And then if we click on the drop down under paste, we can select align to selected levels. In here we can choose to copy and paste different objects, could be floors, could be furniture, could be anything, to different levels. So let's put this floor on, I'll press Control and click on level 3, 4 or 5, and let's see what happens. Let's click OK, and there you can see we have overlapped one of our floors. That's okay, I can delete one of those. Alright, so we have added those floors to these different levels. That's really good. So that is how you create your roofs and your floors. Now let's create some internal walls and make some changes. Let's go to level 5. So here we are on level 5, and I'm going to add a few internal walls. I'm going to click on the wall tool, and then in the properties click on the drop down, and I'm going to find an internal wall. This will do. Internal wall, 12mm plasterboard on either side, 100mm blockwork. So I'm going to draw some internal walls between the columns here. I'm going to take this over to there, and I'm going to add another one here and here, and maybe another one here. Let's make sure they don't overlap. So let's click on the center of the column and escape if you don't want to draw any more. And I do want to draw one more. I'm going to put another one just about here. Press escape. Alright, I have internal walls. Now these internal walls are quite important if you're breaking up the space into different rooms. And if you do have different rooms, it becomes a lot easier to add ceilings. So I'm going to draw a ceiling in one of these rooms, maybe this large room here, and let's see what happens. So click on the ceiling tool, and by default it's highlighted automatic ceilings, so I'm going to click on automatic ceilings, and if you move your cursor around your space you can see different areas highlight for you. So I'm going to click on this space and it creates a ceiling for me, but it does give me a warning in this case, so I'm going to choose to delete elements. Let's add one here. Okay, so the warning I have right here is none of the created elements are visible in the floor plan. Okay, so how can we see these? Well, we could go to our ceiling plans, but I'm going to go to my 3D view, and I'm going to use my my orbit tool, so the middle mouse, and I'm going to rotate, and you might just make out the ceiling there, but I'm going to adjust my section box so you can see what's going on. Let's come around this side. So I'm cutting in from two sides now with the section box, and you can see there is my ceiling in this room here. Now ceilings, you can offset the height, you can change the height of this. I'm going to take off 200 mil, and you should see the ceiling move. When I move my cursor into the viewport, you can see the ceiling moved slightly there. Okay, so we can adjust those ceilings. I'm going to create another type of ceiling now in level 5. I'm going to just draw one. So I'm in the architecture tab, selecting the ceiling tool, and this time I'm going to sketch a ceiling. So I'm going to draw a ceiling using the rectangle tool, and this is going to be like a floating ceiling. I'm going to press the tick, and let's have a look in the 3D view, and you can just about see, let's cut in with the section box again from this side. Okay, and there I have the floating ceiling just there. Okay, now during our live session we had a question about creating openings in a ceiling. So let's go back into level 5, and actually before I do, I'm going to go back into 3D view and select that ceiling, go back into level 5. I can't see it, so I might need to use my ceiling plan. So here is level 5 ceiling plan, there it is, and I can choose to edit the boundary of this ceiling. So if I was to draw a circle here and here, and then press the tick, I've modified the boundary, and if we go into the 3D view, you can see my ceilings now have those circles cut into them. So there's several different ways of creating ceilings. We can sketch them and change them. Ceilings are really important if you want to include wall ceiling mounted lights, of course, and a lot of the lights are designed to be fit to a ceiling, and you won't be able to fit those lights unless you do have a ceiling. Ceilings can be made up of all sorts of materials. They can even be invisible, so it shouldn't be a limit on your creativity. So that is how to create roofs, floors, internal walls and ceilings. Thanks for watching.